that go into being a band who have worked together and played together and lived together for 10 to 12 years.
Yes.
So
I think going out abroad with them, working with them abroad, especially you get a, there's a bond after that. Especially because when you go out and you're all alone, the band becomes very united, because sometimes maybe in Brisbane, in Australia, all alone, you don't know the crowd, but it's a band that keeps everything together. So things like that. You travel with them and then we become great friends also.
So on that note, we have to go for a small break, but we'll be right back with Mr. Sohan Veerasinghe, and I'm sure he has many more stories to share with us about his experience. So it's going to be a good morning here on Good Morning Sri Lanka. But before we go, I have to remind you to like us on Facebook. Log on to www.facebook.com/Good Morning Sri Lanka. Click the like button and tell us how much you like our show, or if you have any other comments, feel free to post them on Facebook. Alright, so we'll be right back after the break. Do stay with us here on the show. Good morning, Sri Lanka. You're here with me, Amaya, on a Friday morning. Now, if that's not good news, that's enough for you, then we've been speaking before the break to Sohan Veerasinghe, the leader of Sohan and the Experiments, and right now we've been joined in the studio by another legend in the entertainment industry, and I should say she is a legend when you take women in this arena especially, because she has made a name for herself and she has paved the way for so many others, and she's an iron lady of television. She's very well known face. You've seen her many times on the news telecast, and she has been known to really get down to the nitty gritty and give you the correct news, and she's also a singer. So her voice is something you'll also hear later on the show. So it's going to be a great show, and we have with us on the show today Noeline Hunter.
Hello, Amaya. Thanks for that wonderful introduction. I don't know whether I deserved it. Thank you so much.
You deserve that and more.
I'd just like to say good morning to all your viewers. It's a lovely morning. So
of course, and it's great to have you here with us on the show this morning.
Thank you.
I mean, right now I have Sohan and Noeline sitting on one sofa in front of me, and I just have to ask you the questions, but this is going to be your show and you're going to be the stars of this show definitely. And the best part is we're going to hear them singing later on in the show, so that's something you really need to stick around for. But let's talk about how you started out, Noeline. Now, your early years and how you really came into this particular field as a career.
Actually, well, I started off with music because I think I'm blessed with 3 careers. So let me start off with the first one. I started off with music. That was quite by accident actually. I used to be singing at home, and I have 2 uncles who were in the music industry. One of them was a singer and he used to sing with various bands, and the other one was a well-known and an award-winning recording artist, recording engineer. And so at our parties, because our family used to get together and sing all the time, we have parties and we just sing and enjoy ourselves. So I used to take a broomstick and imagine that I'm singing, right, professionally singing. So that's how I started off. And then later on, when I was about 14 years old, one of my uncles, the one who's a singer, took me for an audition with Malcolm Andre, who's a legend, he's someone who actually recognizes talent, and he's been someone who has recognized so many people and brought them into the music arena. So yes, so he heard me sing. I went for the audition and I was really nervous. I was just shivering. And then we had a very well-known pianist at the time, Patrick Nelson. He's passed away now. So I remember the song I sang for the audition. It was Yesterday by the Beatles. And of course, after I sang, Malcolm came up to me. He's such a very, very adorable kind of man. He came and he said, "Dear, do you want to sing on the competition?" Because this was for a competition that was on at the time. And I said, "Yes." Then he said, "No, well, we don't think you should sing on the competition. You can sing as a guest artist on that show." Wow. And that's how I started. That's how music started for me.
So did you have a role model that you really looked up to, or a mentor, or someone who really helped you along the way?
At that time, when I started off, no, not really. But my brother, Callie, he was also a singer, and he was in a top band at that time. Well, he helped me with my singing, and he's the one who took me to the first band that I sang with. It was called the 007s.
I see. Very interesting name there.
That's how it all started, yes.
And I'm guessing you're a James Bond fan then?
I'm sorry?
You're a James Bond fan then?
Yeah, later on I did sing a lot of James Bond songs, you know, the theme songs that were done by Shirley Bassey and various people, yes.
So that's a great way to start out, of course. But talking about your career as a television presenter, you've been there since the inception of television, I think, and you've had an award-winning career.
Almost inception, yes,
Okay.
because television started in 1979 in Sri Lanka, and I joined the television industry in 1980.
Okay.
Yes, so that's how I got into television. I was with the first television company in Sri Lanka. They are the people who introduced television to Sri Lanka, and then I joined this major television company later on, and I actually was doing television work before even the building was constructed.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I mean the main television company, the television corporation, before that building was even constructed, I was doing television on the first one. Yes,
So
and then
you
we moved
really
into
are a
this.
pioneer here in Sri Lanka when you speak about
Yes,
that particular
I
field.
really enjoyed my work. I really enjoy my work. Every time I do anything, I enjoy it. I
Definitely.
think that's
And what was the experience like being a woman, a lady who came into this field at that time? What kind of experience did you have at that time? Because I'm sure it was a male-dominated field at that time. Was
Actually,
it or wasn't it?
there wasn't enough time for people to think it's going to be male-dominated in Sri Lanka, because when we started off, we had females and males. So, but I must tell you something. I mean, at that time, people were a little, not that they aren't now, but they were very conventional, right? And then I remember I cut my hair very short when I went on TV once. I mean, it's short now, but it was shorter when I cut it.
Okay.
And then I was told, well, you can't stay on the program because the farmers in Anuradhapura will wonder what kind of person we have on TV. I remember that. So then I was off TV for a while. This is at the very inception.
Okay.
And then they, after my hair grew out a bit, I was back on TV again.
So that really was a factor that affected whether you were going to be on television or not.
That's right. And then there was
Wow.
another time when I had my hair colored. And my hairdresser went a little, you know, berserk with my hair, and he colored my hair, and it looked nice. It's colored even now. But when I went home, my husband said, "Do you think you can get on television like this? They'll throw you out again." So I went back to my hairdresser, re-dyed it black, and went on air.
So it's a great thing that the culture has changed a bit since
Yes,
then,
yes, that's
but
right.
I'm sure that's a welcome change, right, Sohan? Now we've been
Yeah.
speaking to
Right.
Sohan as well about some of the experiences that he's had in the musical industry as a singer and part of the Sohan and the Experiments band. So you've performed together
Yes.
as many times I've
times,
heard.
yes.
So what was that experience like?
It's fun working with Noeline. She's a bit of a perfectionist, so we have to make sure that everything is right. But it's been wonderful working with her. You know.
Yes, it's been great working with Sohan because he's a very easygoing person, and you know, it's nice to sing with him and get together with his band. The band is also really good. If I have to sing for a show and the Experiments are backing me, I don't have any qualms because I know the backing will be perfect, the accompaniment will be great. I don't have to go for many rehearsals, just one rehearsal and everything is ready.
I see.
And I'm very confident when I get on stage and they're backing me, the Experiments.
Any specific memories that you would like to share with us? Any special incidents that happened during all these times that you've performed together?
So
Noeline is
many.
the one
Dish
who-
on each other.
I think Sohan has some memories.
No, I remember one show. It was called Noeline a Celebration, and it was going to start at 7 o'clock, and we were all there, and the main attraction was missing. You know, so her husband was losing the little hair that he had because trying to find her to see she was somewhere doing makeup or something like that, and I think she made it with about 1 minute to go, and it was scary.
I always make it there.
But she
That's
doesn't-
the important thing. You
Actually,
always make
yes.
it there on time.
Actually, I remember Manilal had to sing a song, a duet with me on that particular show, and he had to keep a rose with him to hand it over to me. So the introduction was going, and he was not very sure what time I was coming in, although we had rehearsed it, I think. And he was holding this rose and looking around, wondering whether I'm coming on to on the stage to sing the song or not.
So
But
till
then
the
he was
last
relieved when he
minute.
saw me coming in. Yes.
He had no idea whether Noeline was going to turn up or not.
No,
But
it was-
as you mentioned, you're always there on time. So that's great then.
But that was scary.
I think he's sweating a bit thinking back and reliving that experience.
Yes.
But what are your favorite experiences as a singer in this field in Sri Lanka? You've been here for a long time now.
Singing, I have so many experiences, yes, but they haven't been very unusual experiences. But if you move on to television, I have some really unusual things to share with you. But singing, yes, I mean, I've sung with all of the top singers in Sri Lanka, the top musicians, and I'm really happy to have had them. Some of them have been in my band and they have accompanied me. Some of the greatest musicians Sri Lanka has ever produced, and also the singers. I mean, all of the very well-known male vocalists and the female vocalists. We've shared the stages together. Sohan, Max Rosairo, Donald from Mirage, that's another of my favorite bands. Mirage, then Manilal, you name all the top stars, and I've sung with them. And I think I was lucky to have sung with them. So yes, it was great.
But that's the really great thing about this particular industry. The exposure that you get is, I think, unmatched. When you talk about just, we were speaking earlier about how Sohan wanted to be a lawyer until he was sort of changed tracks completely and went into music as a career.
Yes, actually when I started singing, people didn't look very well upon us female singers. You know, it was not such a good thing to be a female singer. You wear makeup and lipstick and, you know, get on stage and people look at you. So at that time people were very traditional and very conventional, as I said about it. But my parents were all right with it. They used to accompany me to the places that I used to sing in. And then there were about 2 other singers actually at the time, 3 actually. With me it was 4. There was Priyanti, Minon, Dalreen and myself. We are the singers who were on at that time. But, well, we didn't mind the criticism. We just went on and sang. So that's it.
And made a name for yourself. So that's a great thing. But, okay, now we need to hear a song from Sohan. I think he's going to go first, and then Merlin will be up later as well. And there's a duet coming up as well. So you'll be singing?
A song made popular by Elvis called Falling in Love.
All right, that's a crowd pleaser always. So let's hear it then on Good Morning Sri Lanka.